Everyone thought the faded tattoo on her wrist was just an old woman's attempt to look tough, until the captain saw it and went completely still. And in that moment, the laughter in the training yard died like a flame in the wind. The confrontation ignited fast. A cluster of young cadets stood in a loose circle around the elderly woman, their snickers sharp in the bright morning air. She had come to the Marine Corps training base as a guest, invited for a quiet tour. But when one cadet pointed at her tattoo, a black weathered symbol, they laughed openly. She didn't flinch. She simply rolled her sleeve back down and whispered something no one heard. No one except the captain, who had just stepped into the courtyard. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The captain's jaw tightened as the old soldier looked up, her eyes steady, almost sorrowful. The air shifted. Dust rolled gently underfoot as the morning breeze carried the tension like a warning. The woman's hand trembled around the coffee cup she carried, the ceramic tapping softly against her ring. Something in her stillness unsettled the cadets. She thought she'd never see that symbol again. She was wrong. The captain walked toward her with measured steps, each one drawing eyes across the yard. The younger recruits straightened, sensing a change they couldn't yet name. One cadet muttered that she was probably faking it. Another laughed nervously, but it died as soon as they saw the captain's face. He knew that tattoo. It wasn't just any unit mark. It was the insignia of a covert Marine reconnaissance team, one that vanished from the record after a mission decades ago. Rumors said only 2 people survived. Rumors also said one of them had disappeared, leaving behind nothing but a line in an old after-action report. Status unknown, ma'am, the captain said softly, his voice cracking just enough to reveal the truth. Is that your unit? She didn't answer at first. She just looked at him, her eyes filled with the weight of years she never talked about. The cadets watched, whispers stirring at the edges of the courtyard like nervous birds. A few older Marines stepped outside the admin building, drawn by the sudden silence. Finally she spoke, her voice low, but every syllable carried. It was mine, and theirs, and I carry it for the ones who didn't make it home. The yard froze. The captain swallowed hard. Lieutenant Avery, we thought you were gone. A murmur swept through the group. The old woman, thin, weathered, walking with a slight limp, had once been a lieutenant in one of the most elite classified Marine units of her era. The cadets who had mocked her now stared at the ground, shame coloring their cheeks. Avery shifted her weight, pain flickering briefly across her face. Years of service lived inside her bones, silent but unforgotten. For a moment, she wondered if she should have stayed away from bases, from uniforms, from memories buried too deep to disturb. But then the captain stepped forward and saluted her with the crisp, heartfelt precision of a Marine honoring a hero. And something in her steadied. One by one, the older Marines followed, stepping into the courtyard until the yard was filled like a rising tide, boots aligning, spines straightening, respect washing over the moment like sunlight. The cadets, unsure but moved, slowly mirrored the salute. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished, but it was sincere. Avery blinked back the sting in her eyes. She hadn't expected gratitude. She certainly hadn't expected to relive the past. But standing there surrounded by a new generation, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Home. The captain lowered his hand and said quietly, "Ma'am, would you honor us with your story?" For a heartbeat she hesitated. But then the wind shifted again, warm and carrying the sound of flags snapping overhead. Avery nodded. She would tell it, not for herself, but for the ones who never returned. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And sometimes it returns in the quiet moment, when an old soldier finally stops running from her own shadow. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful moments told with heart.